Welcome back, everyone. My name is Rex. I'm your friend, your fellow learner, and your Six Sigma coach. I'm from Six Sigma PH, and we are a member of Philippine Society for Talent Development. We're also a member of American Society for Quality, a member of International Society of Six Sigma Professionals. I'd like to welcome all of you. Thank you for being here, and welcome to the Masterclass, your 2026 Professional Mission Statement. Yeah, people are still joining. Okay, welcome back. Welcome. Pasok na. All right. Okay. So again, I'd like to welcome all of you. And of course, by being here today says a lot of things already about you, no? So the good thing about Six Sigma PH kasi, we are blessed to have high potential students. So meaning, before you even join our program, our course, you're a winner already. No? So our role is to give you insights, tools that you can apply and use so that you get to win more. Okay? So all right. So here are the ground rules for today's session. Number one, please do not take for granted this learning experience. I know this is free, but what I want you to do is to pause for a while. Could you please close your eyes for a few seconds? Close your eyes and then pretend you're handing me over 10,000 pesos for this program. Sige, please close your eyes and pretend you're giving me your 10,000 pesos for this program. Yan, I'm receiving a lot of 10,000. Wow, sana totoo. No? 10,000 pesos, but that's okay. Thank you very much for this 10,000 pesos. And then open your eyes. And of course, please do not take this for granted because you have paid 10,000 pesos. Okay? So time management is very important. Common courtesy is very important. Okay? Participate actively. You'll be doing a lot of things today, a lot of insights. If you don't have a pen and paper yet, so you have a few seconds to look for a pen and paper with you, and then itabi nyo na because we'll be using it in a while. Okay? And of course, take notes. All right. Okay, let's start. So year 2012. Let's go back to year 2012. I was the master black belt at Maybank Philippines noong 2012. At that time, wala pang Six Sigma PH. We started 2013. No? 2012, I saw the, demand and supply. Sige, could you please type on the chat? When you say demand and supply, for example, demand goes up, maraming may gusto of that something. Supply remains the same. What would happen with the price? Demand goes up, supply is low or stays the same. What would happen with the price? Okay, please type on the chat. What would happen with the price? Price would go up, would increase. Yes. No? Now, this is basic economics, demand and supply. Everything around us is all about demand and supply. Although sometimes hindi siya obvious, no? But everything is all about demand and supply. At that time, 2012, I saw that the demand for certified Six Sigma professionals, competent kasi there are Six Sigma training companies, you just pay them tapos hindi ka magpa-project for green and black, certify ka agad. Okay? But what I'm saying here is competent, certified Six Sigma professionals. The demand was very high. Even up to now, ganun pa rin naman, no? And what companies were doing, they poached Six Sigma green belts and black belts of other companies. Siyempre, yung mga mawawala ng Six Sigma black belts and green belts, sila naman yung maghahanap ng bagong Six Sigma black belts and green belts, no? So, there was a time na almost every day, at least three HR or headhunters call my phone and then asking me to apply. Okay? Not because I'm very good at what I'm doing at that time. Siguro, no, I'm competent, no, to do the work. But it's not because of me, but it's because of the demand. The demand was very high, but the supply remains low. So what they did was companies started hiring Six Sigma certified professionals from abroad, mostly from India. They fly them here in the Philippines and then make them work as their Six Sigma green belt or black belt or master black belt. No? Sabi ko, if foreigners are doing great things here, improving processes, increasing customer satisfaction, reducing delays, reducing processing time, reducing rework, reducing overtime of Filipino talents. Why not Filipinos? Diba? If foreigners are doing great things, why not Filipinos? No? So that was the time I said, I think it's time to start Six Sigma PH so that we get to help Filipinos train them, become not just certified but competent certified Six Sigma professionals so that hindi na kailangang mag-hire from abroad ng foreigner, Filipinos can do it. Diba? That was the time we started Six Sigma PH. It's because of the law of demand and supply. Okay? Now, we'll talk more about law of demand and supply in a while, but I'll be sharing with you this how I got promoted framework. No? So when I say how I got promoted, tawag ko lang yan, no? How I got promoted framework. But it's really it's a framework to help us plan, strategize, how to level up. Okay? Of course, every one of us, we come from different backgrounds, different experiences, biases, di ba? Different companies. So when you say level up, we have different definition of what leveling up means to us personally. So what I mean by I want to level up might be different to what your definition of level up. Okay? But this is a framework to help you personally identify what do you mean by level up. And once you have defined what do you mean by leveling up, help you plan and strategize how to get there. Okay? So ito yung this is the framework, no? This framework is not totally uh, unique. What I did was I combined two frameworks from two great authors. Number one, the author who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. Sige, anyone who have read or has read Rich Dad Poor Dad, can you please type on the screen sino yung author nun? Rich Dad Poor Dad. Sino? Si Robert Kiyosaki. Very nice. So many of you have read that book, no? Rich Dad Poor Dad. So the first framework by Robert Kiyosaki and the second framework by Michael Gerber. Michael, sige, let me type on the screen. Okay? And then I came up with this framework. Okay. Sige, teka. Kunin ko lang yung pointer ko. Okay. You see my pointer now? Okay? Okay. So, on the base, you have employees. No? 3 levels employees. You have employee technician, employee manager, employee executive. Okay. And then next, self-employed. And then next, entrepreneur. And then on top, investor. Okay. When you say employee technician, meron tawag sa HR dyan eh. Ano yung tawag nyo, mga HR? Those from the HR side. You focus on your own work. What do you call that? Yes, rank and file, but the technical term, individual contributor. Thank you, Zeke. No, tama yan. Individual contributor. Okay? The difference is between manager and technician, employee technician, you focus on your own work task. No? Make sure it's on time and within the quality level set or standard set by your company. That's technician. You focus on your own work tasks that you completed on time within the quality level that you have set. Individual contributor, correct. Okay. Next, employee manager. Employee manager means there are different or a number of talents reporting to you, meaning your goal changes from focusing on what you do. Instead, you focus on the goal of the team that you manage, making it sure that they're doing their work within time and quality level that you have set. So hindi ka na focus doon sa work na ginagawa mo, but you're focusing on the talents reporting to you, making sure that they're doing the work on time within the quality level towards the goal that you have set to your team. Yun yung employee manager. Employee executive, meron mga sub-levels pa yan, no? So when you say employee executive, you in business, it's about revenue and expense. Revenue and expense, di ba? That's why there's this thing we call revenue center and then cost center, di ba? So if you are the head of a revenue center, usually VP marketing, VP sales, your goal is to focus on the revenue side, meaning you get more leads, more clients, more revenue for the company. If you're from the expense center, your focus is, of course, to control the costs. Di ba? To control the costs. Babalik din tayo ulit. We go back to the demand and supply. That's the same thing, no? When you say revenue, it's about creating demand for the services or products of your company. In short, revenue center or sales and marketing. Usually, sila yon. Okay? Expense side, that's supply. Meaning, your focus is to create that product or service, to create that supply so that you get to sell something to your customers. Okay? So, executives, it would depend, no, where you focus on. The revenue center, VP ka ba ng HR, ng marketing or sales? Or expense naman, are you the VP of operations, VP of HR, VP of IT, VP of other support groups? Okay? Now, if you are the CEO of your company, that's a sub-level of employee executive. You're still an employee. You focus on both the sales and revenue side. Of course, you oversee the entire operations. So your concern is to increase sales and reduce expenses or make it as is or same. Okay, next, self-employed. Self-employed is when you still trade time for money. As an employee pala, we are spending the very most important thing in the world to humans, it's time. We're spending our time, syempre our talents, to do a work in exchange for money. Okay? So yun yung being an employee. Self-employed, you do on your own. Okay? You do it on your own, but you're still trading your time for money. Okay? Ang difference lang, sometimes for self-employed, sometimes you have people reporting to you also. You get to hire employees as well. But if you stop working as a self-employed, you also stop earning. So usually professionals are like that. For example, lawyers, doctors, unless you own the law firm. Kahit if you own the law firm, kahit holiday ka for 1 month, kung may mga lawyers and systems ka na in place, continue yung revenue generation. No? If you are a doctor and working on your own, if you stop working, you stop earning also. That's being self-employed. Okay? Entrepreneur is you already have a system in place and people working on that system. Even if you stop working for weeks or months, they can still do the work and generate revenue for your company. Yun yung difference between self-employed and being an entrepreneur. Okay? And then on top, investor. Okay? So investor naman, you're trading, you're using your capital, okay, to get money for you. So meaning, kunyari, you have stocks, you have REITs, you own businesses, okay? You own Bitcoin, you have commodities and all other assets to work for you. Okay? So the pyramid is like this: employee, technician, or employee, self-employed, entrepreneur, investor, going to the top. I know some of you might not agree with this na as you go up, Barex, the higher level you up. Again, it would depend on how you define it, no? But I've used the framework of Kiyosaki and Michael Gerber, and according to them, being an investor daw kasi is you stop trading your time to earn money. That's why it's in the higher level. Okay, next. Next. When you mean by Rex, next is we'd like to understand where we are at the moment. I'd like you to know and reflect where you are at the moment. Is it, Rex, is it ano ba? Is it only one type per person? Okay. Is it only one type per person? It depends, no? It depends. Okay, sige. Later we'll find out. Okay. Sige, let me zoom it back, zoom out, and let me share with you this one quickly lang. I did a research, and according to data, here are Filipino household income sources. Oh, by the way, I'll give you a copy of this slide also. No, the slide I'm using. So if you'd like to take photos, no problem. No? But I'll give you a copy of this slide. According to the data, 52% of Filipino companies daw, the income of Filipino companies, 52% come from wages and salaries, meaning salary, sweldo. Okay? 20.9% come from this one. No? Yan. So, employee, ito yon. Okay? Employee. Entrepreneur and self-employed, this one, 20.9. Okay? Investment, investor, very small. Only 4% of the earnings of Filipino families come from investment. Okay? And if you notice, our, ano, no, in the Philippines, it's quite unique. 14%, that's very big. No? All Filipino companies, about 14% come from remittances, padala, overseas Filipino workers. No? Napakalaki. No? And then 6%, the retirees. Pension, social benefits. Okay, others are mixed income, and that's correct. Okay. So it's just good to know na ganito ang current state of the Philippines. Now, my question is this. Let me clear. Okay? Oh, regardless where you are, ito pala, ito pala. Ayan. So regardless where you are, no? Either majority. So think about na lang ganito. What is the majority of my income coming from? Am I an employee? And then of course you get to identify where you are. Individual contributor level or technician, manager, or executive. Okay? Or is it majority of my uh my income come from being self-employed? Is it majority as an entrepreneur or as an investor? Okay? So it's not 100% isa ka lang. Pwedeng, for example, you are a manager and rough estimate lang, 95%, for example, of your income come from your salary as a manager, and then 3% as self-employed. So for example, you have a sideline business. You're selling something. Kunyari, perfume or kung ano man yun. 3% on the side. And then you have 2%, meron kang konting stocks or sa SSS, meron kang investment na sa SSS, sa stocks, or Bitcoin, or you bought some jewelry, gold, silver, pwede rin. Yan. So, hindi siya yung 100% isa ka lang. Pwedeng ganito. Okay? So, yan. Now, regardless where you are, majority. So, for example, in this example, ang majority niya is employee manager siya. It's composed of three things. No? Your mindset, your skills, and your values. We'll talk more about the three things: mindset, skills, and values. Okay? Mindset, skills, and values. Now, I want you to write down for 1 minute. I'll give you 1 minute. Write down the percent where your income is coming from at the moment. Sige, I'll give you 1 minute. Something like this. Gayahin nyo yung ganito. Please write it on your piece of paper. Okay, 1 minute. Next, regardless where you are at the moment, majority of your income, it all boils down to your mindset, to your skills, and to your values. Okay, so quickly we'll go through each of the three things. No? Okay, so for today's discussion, we'll cover the how I got promoted framework, mindset, skills, and values. And number two is to create your first draft of your personal mission statement. The one you wrote on the piece of paper, please type here. How many percent of your income come from the following? Investor, entrepreneur, self-employed. If you're just if you only do employment or if you're an employee, wala kang side business, 'di ba? Wala kang investor, okay lang 'yon. So type 100% here as an employee. Okay? If you're doing some sideline business, so for example, I'm selling on the side aside from my employment, I'm selling Pokemon cards. Oh, lalaki kita ang Pokemon card collector, ah. So for example, 5%. Yan. Employment, 95%. So as long as it's 100% yung total. If you have, let's say, meron akong one condo unit, paupahan. Oh, may investor ka rin nun, ibig sabihin. Or if you have some stocks, REITs, meron kang Bitcoin, crypto, meron kang gold, bumili ka ng jewelry, that's also investment. So if you think that you're earning from it, as long as you think you're earning from it, lalo na yung gold, no? Ang laki ng tinaas ng gold and silver past few months. No? Okay? Okay, sige. Please type done when you're done. MP2, yes. Marami nag-invest sa MP2 and it's yielding better, no, than savings account or time deposit. So that's a nice way also to save. No? Yeah. Welcome, Arnold. Yes, sige. Please type done when you're done. Okay, next. Now we know where we are. Ilang percent of our income come from the different types. No? Next. Let's go to mindset. Sige, kung mahirap sa cellphone, yes, dapat naka-laptop no, para malaki. Piece of paper na lang, pen and paper. Okay, next. Let's look at the mindset. No? Every type of where you are here as an employee, iba-iba ang mindset that you need. So for example, if you are a technician, your mindset is you focus on doing the tasks correctly and efficiently today. That's your mindset. Now, if you are an employee, technician, or individual contributor dito, and you'd like to be promoted, you'd like to level up, if that's your definition of leveling up, kanina, I told you, iba-iba kasi yung definition of leveling up. Eh. Pwedeng you're an employee technician now, you'd like to become self-employed? Yes, pwede rin. If you are a technician, you'd like to be an entrepreneur or jump into investing? Pwede rin naman. Yes. So again, it's up to you. But our example now, for example lang, is you're an employee individual contributor. You'd like to become an employee, manager, or supervisor. Okay? The mindset that you have as an employee technician is different from the mindset of an employee manager. Okay? May I see on the Zoom chat? Nakaka-relate ba kayo? Have you heard of or maybe kayo rin yourself, no? Ako, naging ganun din ako. Merong na-promote into a manager level or supervisor pero ang mindset niya as an individual contributor pa rin, technician. Meron ba? Magkaka-problem ka kung ganun, no? Pwedeng effective ka as a technician, pwedeng ikaw yung top one for all technicians, regardless what you do. Top 1 ka, ikaw yung pinakamagaling. Pero pag umakyat ka sa manager level, skill is just one part again. Ito. No? Skill. But the mindset is different. Okay? Top yung skill mo dito, but yung pag umakyat ka dito, dapat mindset should be different. No? Ano ba yung mindset, Rex? Ito, nilagay ko na yung sample definition. So just take a photo of this. What you want to do, if you are a technician employee, you want to become a manager, kahit technician ka pa lang, yung mindset mo, ibahin mo na. Huwag ka na mag-aantay na kung na-promote ka, tsaka ka mag-change ng mindset. Ibahin mo na agad. So ano ba what's the mindset of an employee manager? This one. Employee manager focuses on organizing people and processes to deliver results consistently. So meaning you're not anymore focused on your work, but you focus on the team members, talents reporting to you, how they do their work. Okay? And of course, work of your team should go towards the goal that you have set. Okay? So sabi ni Bea, they can be good individual contributor, but that doesn't mean they are ready to be promoted. And that's correct. Maybe skills-wise, they're very good. They're top of their game. But the mindset remains an individual contributor. Hindi na pwede yun. You're managing a team already. Iba na. Okay? And same thing, if you are an employee manager and you want to become an executive, your mindset as a manager, middle manager, won't be parang suitable, no? As you assume the new role as the executive of your company. Iba na yung executive mindset. Okay? So quickly, let's just read. Employee executive focuses on setting direction, allocating resources, and managing long-term risks and outcomes. Iba na against a manager. Okay? Self-employed is also different. You focus on personal expertise and effort as the main driver of income. If you are self-employed, so for example, you are an accountant, and then you started an accountant employee, and then magtayo na nga akong self-practice ko. Okay? Once you start becoming a self-employed, hindi ka na employee, you are the leader of your self-practice, no? Self-employed practice. You need to learn also how to do sales and marketing. Diba? It's not enough to learn the skills of being an accountant. You also need to market, position yourself, you market, do sales, and do other support things you need for your self-employed practice. Iba rin, no? So iba rin ang mindset niya. An entrepreneur also the same. Entrepreneur focuses on building systems and businesses that work without their constant involvement. And of course, investor, iba rin ang mindset. But the point is, the mindset of your current state is different from where you want to go. I have a definition here, sample, pero syempre, again, iba-iba tayo ng case na scenario. Identify your definition of where you want to be when you level up. Again, depende what you mean by leveling up. Iba-iba tayo, no? So, I've given a sample here, mindset. I want you to write your number one, identify ano yung next level you want to go. Okay? And what mindset is needed for that role. And while you're still in your current role, change mo na yung mindset mo and have that mindset of that next role you want. Okay, make sense? Sige, please type on the chat if it makes sense. Does it make sense? Okay, all right. All right, thanks. Next, skills. So again, there are three elements now: mindset, skills, and values. How about skills? Okay, so let's have this quick exercise on a piece of paper. So get your pen and paper ready. And then I'd like you to draw a line, timeline. Okay, I'll give you 3 minutes for this. I'd like you to draw a line. Okay, on a piece of paper, high level lang siya, up to present. Okay, so again, it's up to you what you want, no milestones you want to add. But in my case, I've added milestones like this, no milestones, childhood, when I entered university, my first job, second job, at Smart Communications, third job, BDO, Maybank, up to present. And then on top, I'd like you to identify the top skill you have learned or mastered, if you have mastered it, on each of those milestones. No? Sometimes, even personal, something like this, no? Between my first job and second job, I have played a number of roles in Tanghalang Pilipinos theater production at the Cultural Center of the Philippines. Pwede nyo rin i-add yan. Or maybe Like in my childhood, my parents sent me to painting workshops. Or maybe in your case, pwedeng I was sent by my parents to learn the piano. Okay? I'll give you 3 minutes to do this. Okay, timer starts now. Okay, yes. Okay, next. Okay lang if hindi ko natapos, Rex, okay lang. Okay, rough draft lang yan. Later, you do it on your own, complete it. Okay, next. Now I call this the unique me Venn diagram. The unique me Venn diagram. Okay, on a piece of paper, alam niyo yung yung rubber bands? Do you play that? Pero parang puro mga Gen Z na kayo, no? Kaming mga millennials, we used to play yung rubber bands dati, no? Yung nagaganyan pa kami. Okay? So do something like this. Yung mga nag-overlap, okay? The top skills that you have written here, you visualize it like this, no? Ano yung mga top skills that have overlap that would visualize the unique me today? Every one of us, we have a unique set of skills that we have practiced, we have mastered over time. Walang same na same. Magkakaiba tayo, no? So for example, ito, visual artist or visual artist skills that I have, hindi ko naman na-master, but I used to paint oil and watercolor and draw and make comics nung dati, okay? And then, ito, I've added theater acting. So medyo overlap sila ni visual artist kasi parehong sa arts eh. So kaya pinagtabi ko siya. And then industrial engineering skills, yun yung course ko nung university. And it helped me yung theater acting ko, hindi alam yung sagot, umaarte lang sa prof, no? Theater acting, no? Meaning presentation, nakatulong kahit konti. And visual artist skills, ito may nag-overlap sa college, no? Kasi syempre, yung presentation, sometimes you need to, no? Project, number one. And then, when you prepare your reports, yung mga visual skills natin, art skills, no? When you present, para presentable yung report, maganda yung layout, maganda yung mga images, di ba? So yan, industrial engineering skills. Ano pa nilagay ko dito? Six Sigma training skills, the red line. Okay? Nakatulong yung being a visual artist when I prepare presentations like this. Siyempre yung design and concepts like that. Theater acting when I present, like this case, yung presentation, kahit pa paano, di ba? And then business process audit skills. Okay? I'd like you to do this. I'll give you 2 minutes. Kahit rough draft lang. And then later you get to make it better. Huh? Okay, 2 minutes starts now. Now, once you have the unique me Venn diagram, it's a good thing to visualize, no? What different skills and talents have overlap and help you to become you today. No? So your next is this one, keep it because it would help you identify later on when you're thinking of what's next skills to learn or to master. Okay? Where would it overlap with the current skills I have? Will it improve by the current skills I have? Or will the current skills I have help me learn another skill faster? Okay? So it's good to always have this with you para you get to visualize the different skill sets that you have practiced over the years. Huh? Okay. Again, when you say skills, when you learn skills, it's composed of two things, knowledge and ability. Okay? It's very important when you learn a new skill, you do both. You learn what that skill is about, that's knowledge. Ability is you do it because when you do something, you implement something, you get to learn more. no? Kasi sometimes when we just know it and we don't practice it, we tend to forget things, no? So hindi the skills would not help us later. Okay? Again, law of demand of supply versus value. In any company, always this is how you view it. Now this perspective, I've learned it later on my career. When I was starting as an employee, this wasn't obvious to me. No? Every company, it's always this. Revenue minus expenses is equal to profit. Okay? For revenue, can you please type on the chat? Which is better for the company? The higher the revenue, the better, or the lower the better? Sige, please type on the chat. Okay? Perspective of the company. The higher the revenue, the better. The lower the revenue, the better. Okay? The higher, yes. Next, expense naman. The lower the better or the higher the better for expense? The expense side, expenses of the company. The lower the better, yes, correct, no? Which is equal to profit. Every business, we do two things. If you scratch the surface, of course, you do many things, though, but if you scratch the surface, you do only two things. Number one, you serve the customer and make them happy. And number two, you earn profit for your company. Okay? Now, one bad thing about Filipinos, and we're all guilty of this, sometimes we tend to we tend to think of it in a negative side, no? Negative way, negative view. When you say earning more profit, mukhang pera naman yung kumpanya na yan, mukhang pera naman yung CEO na yan or president, mukhang pera naman yung company na yan, yung firm na yan, no? Well, in a way, yes, pwedeng ganun yung perspective natin. But again, if the company doesn't earn profit, it can't be sustainable. Di ba? So if you go back to, or if you have another perspective naman, you look at, for example, your family. Di ba? If there's no profit din sa family nyo, meaning what you earn, you spend 100% din, walang profit, it would be difficult for your company to, your family to survive. Di ba? So same thing, ganun din. No? So our goal should be, paano kaya tumaas pa yung income namin sa family? And yung expense, kung hindi mo siya mapababa, at least make it stay the same. Para when your revenue, your income goes up, the expenses of your family remains almost the same. Kung konti lang yung increase, the better, no? Kung hindi mo siya mapababa. So that you have savings that you can invest later on. Okay? And this is also the reason why, I know this is our view rin, kasi ako ganun din. I was, yun nga, I've been practicing Six Sigma since day one when I started working. And Six Sigma department, usually, nasa expense side yan. Hindi siya revenue side, no? Revenue side, usually, are sales and marketing. Six Sigma, or where you're from, could be procurement, HR, IT, operations, expense center siya. Okay? In general, which earn more? Sales and marketing or other departments in a company? Can you please type on the chat? Sino yung laging mas mataas ang sweldo, mas maraming allowances, benefits? Sino yung laging pag Christmas party, bakit parang sila lagi yung may awards? 'Di ba? Sales and marketing. I know, ako rin, hindi naman ako sales and marketing ng working, expense side din ako. Bakit parang ganun? Well, it's because of this. And hindi natin maaalis yun. Ganun talaga, no? Most of the time, talagang revenue side ang dapat taasan, no? Taasan ang mas mataas ang revenue, the better, no? So, ano yung learnings natin dito, Rex? Supply and demand, going back again to supply and demand. Mas in demand ang sales and marketing. In general, of course, not all the time, no? Mas in demand sila because they provide sales, leads, and revenue for a company to survive, no? So, one lesson learned from this, if it's an option for you to shift to sales and marketing, kasi ang perspective nga natin, titignan mo ano ang may law of supply and demand, and kung saan mas pabor ang situation, then of course you move to that favorable situation. Okay? So if you stay within your company and you see that sales and marketing teams are getting paid higher, more allowances, more whatever, no? Is there a way, is it possible for me to transfer to sales and marketing? That could be an option. No, I'm not saying you transfer, but that's an option because supply and demand again, mas favorable sa department nila. That could be one way, no, to level up. That could be one. Another, for example, if you're selecting between sectors where you want to work, service sector ba or manufacturing? Unfortunately, manufacturing sector in the Philippines, mahal kasi yung kuryente sa Philippines, mahal mahal gumawa ng mahal ang business, no? Ang daming mga extra, alam niyo na kung anong ibig sabihin, no? Maraming mga extra expenses, no? So between the two, currently service sector pays more. So if you have the chance to transfer from manufacturing to service, maybe that's another option you might check, no? Again, I'm not saying you transfer, but that's in the view of supply and demand, parang mas favorable nga na doon, no? Compared with manufacturing. Of course, not all the case now. Okay, next. Six Sigma PH courses are also anchored on the supply and demand law. Meaning, we're offering products or services or training programs na high in demand, konti pa lang yung meron, and high in demand by companies. No? So number one, of course, you know already Six Sigma certifications that we have. Okay, yellow belt, green, and black. Okay, for yellow, for green and black, you'll be required to start a project, a real project, but we'll coach you even after training. So that's our Six Sigma certification. Our program focuses on application. So hindi lang siya knowledge. It focuses on ability. We're giving you a roadmap na hindi available sa ibang Six Sigma schools. We have what we call the Six Sigma circuit. We'll give you step by step how to do the project from start to end. And then you have your roadmap already, and we'll provide coaching until you close the project. Okay? Number two, another supply and demand, in demand sa companies, konti pa lang ang meron sa Philippines. And of course, if that's the case, once you earn your Scrum Master certification, pag-aagawan ka talaga, literally. Pag-aagawan. Yung mga, both Six Sigma graduates namin and Six Sigma Scrum Master certified, it's an agile project management program, no? And then we'll be launching this one by application only. We have Trusted Thought Leader Accelerator. So the goal of this accelerator program, it's not a training, no? It's an accelerator. So it's a cohort, and then we'll be providing coaching. Dito naman, from a highly skilled employee to a paid speaker consultant. So if you want to become a highly paid speaker consultant, this might be a good option for you, no? But this is by application, merong qualification before you get admitted. So you have at least 10 years of work experience, around approximately 10,000 hours of experience, and you'll be learning the 5 P's that we have here. No? How to pitch yourself, will help you publish your book if possible, will help you identify the products that you'll be offering, improve your profiles, personal branding, and help you get partnerships you need. Okay. So could you please type on the chat? We'll launch in the next few days or weeks we call it the program, we call it Trusted Thought Leader Accelerator. We'll be launching a free readiness scorecard. Are you ready to become a trusted thought leader? Readiness, a readiness scorecard. If yes, you can please type yes on the screen, and then we'll send you the free assessment. Okay, para at least you get to know where you are, and if you're ready, you might explore this accelerator. If not, at least you know where you are and which elements to improve. No. Okay. All right. So that's skills, no? Skills. So again, the goal of this course, itong accelerator, is to help you from being an employee to a self-employed, a paid speaker consultant. Okay. All right. So mukhang magiging ganito yung ano no, yung readiness profile that you'll receive depending on the answer. So what you'll get is a report, customized report. It would depend on your answers dun sa assessment or sa scorecard. Okay, next. So again, three things: mindset, skills, and values. No? For skills, of course, it would depend on what course you will take. If you think Six Sigma will help you level up to that next desired level you want, then enroll in the Six Sigma course. If not, hanapin mo kung ano yung skills that you'll be needing. No? If not Six Sigma, di yung kung ano yung you need, what you need. Okay? If you want to level up. If let's say you want to become self-employed or you want to become an entrepreneur, maybe an entrepreneurship program might be a good start. So look for an entrepreneurship course or program. Okay? Next, values. So we'll be covering values as part of the personal mission statement. So hindi na siya, natin sasama. Basta tatlo siya, no? Elements. Three elements: mindset, skills, and values. Okay. So here is, let's now move on to the professional mission statement. Guess which company's mission statements are the following? Let's start with number 1. To connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. Could you please type on the Zoom chat what company you think this is? Anong mission statement niya? Sige, please type on the Zoom chat. Number 1 first, no? Sige. Pula lang. To connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. It's a big company. It's not Six Sigma PH, but it's a big company. Okay? Sige, please type. All right, number 2 naman. To give people the power to share and make the world more open and connected. Anong company yan? Anong mission statement ng company? Okay, sige, please type. Later, I'll show you the answer. Okay, and last, number 3, to build the web's most convenient, secure, cost-effective payment solution. How about number 3? Anong company yan? To build the web's most convenient, secure, cost-effective payment solutions. Okay, let's see the answers. Tama, you're correct. No? LinkedIn, Facebook, PayPal. Okay. Now, if you look at their mission statements, this is a typical mission statement of corporations. The professional mission statement that we have created, Six Sigma PH, it looks like this. No? More specific. Ito kasi, it's good, but how do you do that? No? Sometimes, especially if it's something personal, how would I do it, Rex? So we're not writing something that's like a motherhood statement. Yun nga sabi nila. It's not a motherhood statement, but it's something specific. And it would guide you. Huh? So in Six Sigma PH, we have, if you haven't taken the other master class, we have problem statement sprint. It's on YouTube. No? So please look for it. We'll send you a link then, follow-up emails that we'll be sending. You may take on that also. So here is the format of the professional mission statement. I, if you're only yourself, or we, if you're working with the team, if you're an entrepreneur or a self-employed with a number of persons that you hired, I or we will do the following: XXX. So meaning 3 things. I'll talk more about what the 3 things are. By the end of Y. Because of Z. This is how we write our professional or personal mission statement. So it's a professional, personal mission statements. Okay? So when you say by the end of, it's either 1 year or 2 years. Maximum na yung 2 years. Because if you do 3 years or more, mahirap na i-predict yung future. No? Lalo na yung speed of technology today. So maybe 1 year is good. Or if you want to extend more, 1.5 years to 2 years maximum. So that's my recommendation. By the end of Y, because of Z. Okay, let's start. No? Professional mission statement. So you are here, like what we did earlier. We have identified where we are and then where we want to go. Okay? So once we break away from all the fluffy language we use in mission statements, everyone in the plane, if this is you, you want to, for example, you are the plane, you want to go from where you start up to where you want to go. Okay. Everyone in the plane, meaning the people with you, either your family or your teammates, if you have people reporting to you. Kunyari, you are a self-employed or an entrepreneur with people that you have hired. Okay. Everyone in the plane, syempre kasama sila, will know where we are going, and after that, we will reverse engineer the successful achievement of that mission. Without a mission statement, achieving a mission will only happen by accident. And of course, we don't want that to happen. Okay? All right. For the three X's I've stated earlier, so I will, X, X, and X. The X's are three primary economic objectives. Money, financial. Again, tanggalin muna natin perception na pag money, mukhang pera ka, masama yan. That's not true. No, that's not correct. Wrong mindset yon. No? So, set that aside first and then think of three primary economic objectives. The key to success, to keep yourself, your family, or your business grounded, should be grounded on economic realities at all times. Okay? You and your business exists to do two things: serve the customer and make a profit. Okay? And then if you ask, Rex, why only three? Bakit tatlo lang? If you prioritize everything, there's this saying, when you prioritize everything, you prioritize nothing. So tatlo lang is the best, no? Three is ideal. Okay, so that's what I recommend. Okay, so here is an example. You go to Miro and then you write your own three primary economic objectives on Miro. If you don't have Miro, write it down on a piece of paper lang, no? So ano bang itsura nun? So sige, let's have this example. For example, you are a Six Sigma black belt, and then your profile is this. You are an employee manager, 98% of income comes from employment or your salary. And then meron kang konting investment kay yung M2, di ba? Investor 2%, pwedeng ganon. Okay? My three primary economic objectives might look the following. Number one, I will lead at least 6 high-impact projects that deliver a combined 25 million. Again, dapat quantified, may kaperahan, no? A combined 25 million in verified annual cost savings or additional revenue for my company. Again, there should be a specific amount. Number two, I will position myself as a trusted internal problem solver to justify a promotion or role expansion tied to a total annual compensation of 3.5 million pesos. So for example, you're targeting to be promoted or have an increase of your total compensation, and then of course you target na. Hindi naman when you're targeting something, you don't target na basta mag-increase. Dapat meron kang target. For example, currently I'm earning 3.2 million. Lahat na ng benefits ko combined. For example lang. Gusto ko next year, dapat at least 3.5 man lang kasi my family needs it. No? For example. So again, may kaperahan dapat. May kaperahan, something specific. Number three, it might look something like this. Since your profile is 2%, no? Earn monthly dividends of at least 5,000 from my investment. Of course, dividends are usually being given quarterly. Depende, no? But usually mga companies, lalo na REIT sa Philippines quarterly, i-compute mo ng monthly. Okay? So, ito yung target mo. By when? By the end of June 2027. Of course, 2026 about to start. June 2027 would take us about 1.5 years for you to achieve the three things. Okay? Sige, I'll give you 3 minutes. If you aren't able to complete the three, okay lang. At least you know, no? Another example. Ito, profile niya naman is an accountant. Let's say this person is 100% income of this person comes from salary, and the person is a supervisor, I will, number one, identify and help eliminate at least 8 million pesos in annual cost leakages or financial risks of my company. Number two, deliver financial reports with 99.8 accuracy and prevent 5 million plus in annualized cost savings. Number three, build a track record that supports earning 2.2 million to 2.5 million annually. By the end of when? By the end of Y? 2026. Okay? I'll give you 3 minutes. And it starts now. If you're a government employee, item number two, yes. So again, it would depend, no? No, it would depend. And of course, Zeke, that's correct. You have to factor in inflation. Lahat nagmamahal. So, sige, kahit isa lang masulat muna for start, okay lang din. If you can do 1 to 2, okay. And then later, you complete it. Okay, you have 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Okay, so we're done with our 3 economic objectives and the target date. Okay, again, I'd like you to set the target date either 1 year, 1.5 years, maximum na yung 2 years. Okay, how about the because part, this one? Okay, I will do the 3 economic objectives, X, X, and X by the end of Y because, so you need to add this, because, okay, close your mission statement. We need to close our mission statement by answering the question because the because part is the actual mission. Okay? Without it, it's just an economic objective or economic goals. No? The mission happens when we accept the challenge to solve other people's problems. Okay? So, two things you might include. You may include, number one, a vision of a better world, meaning if you accomplish the mission, what would people see or feel? Okay. Number two, it may also be like a counterattack to any injustice. What sufferings, frustrations will people no longer experience once you have achieved your mission? Example. Okay? So for example, if you are a shoe store owner, ito, meron akong totoong naging Six Sigma student. They own this, no? Shoe store owner, no? Why does the shoe store owner wants to double their sales in the coming year? Because everybody deserves to have a favorite pair of shoes. Right? Okay, so that's their because. Next. Ito, another one of my Six Sigma Black Belt students years ago. No? A realtor, nagbebenta ng real estate, no? Horizontal, vertical. Why does the real estate office wants to get 200 families into a new home by the end of 2027? This was their target, 200 families. Because nobody should have to live in a home that they do not love. Okay, something like that. Okay, last examples. Let's say you are a software sales manager. Why should the compliance software for SMEs company add 3,000 more subscribers by the end of 2026? Because no small business should be punished by the BIR because their vendors aren't compliant. Okay, so that's the because. Something bigger than yourself, something bigger than your business if you're a business owner. Okay? Example, in our Six Sigma project, Six Sigma Black Belt, no? So ito yung profile niya, and then the 3 economic objectives. I want to do this, this, and this, or get this, this, and this by the end of 2027 because teams, my fellow employees, or that my team, or different teams in their company should not burn out by fixing the same problems repeatedly when root cause solutions can make work simpler, calmer, and more effective. Okay? And sa dito naman sa next example natin, the accountant, I want to get this, this, and this by end of 2026 because leaders and teams should not make critical decisions with incomplete, delayed, or unreliable financial information when clarity and accuracy can protect cash, margins, and very important, trust. Okay? So I'll give you 2 minutes. Write down your because statement. I want to earn this, this, and this by end of 2026 because what? It could be your family, could be other people, could be other businesses. Okay, 2 minutes. Starts now. Okay, next. So we're done with our professional mission statement. Now let's go to key characteristics or values. Okay, what do you mean by values? When you define the key characteristics, you will need to embody in order to accomplish your mission. You determine who you need to transform into and what kind of people you will need to hire. Okay, so for example, if uh, you'll be selling something, of course, you want it's needed no, to become in a way no, form of an extrovert. No? So if you will be needing to hire someone, dapat the key characteristic of the person you'll be hiring, if it's not you doing the sales work, is as someone that's um, a form of extrovert, no? Enjoy talking with people, something like that, no? Guide questions are the following. Sige, please take a photo. What specific characteristics will each of us need in order to create or sell the product that solves our customers' problems? What characteristics are we going to need to keep going when the challenges seem overwhelming? Another guide question, what characteristics we will need to create a safe and encouraging culture? So I'll give you an example. Okay. So for example, for a network marketing product representative, key characteristic should be someone that loves connecting with people because that's the nature of the role. No? If this is your role, your business, or your personal practice, believes the product when you represent change lives and you're always resilient. No? If you are a financial advisor, key characteristics could look something like always put the customer first. You clearly explain complicated investment strategies, and you enjoy help families leave a legacy. Okay, if you're a consultant, you should be great at turning knowledge into practical frameworks. You love networking with people, and you also need to be obsessed with solving clients' problems. Okay, so that's the example. So in our case, Six Sigma Black Belt, the same profile earlier, key characteristics should be, let's say, number one, the person communicates improvement results in clear business and financial teams, not technical jargon. Okay. Number two, makes disciplined project choices based on economic impact, not convenience or interest. And number three, builds trust through consistency, follow through, and honest reporting. Okay. So if you look at it, these are your 3 economic objectives, and you want to achieve it by this date. because of this one. No? Now, for you to do all of these, you should have the following key characteristics. Communicates improvement results, make disciplined project choices, and build trust through consistency, follow through, and honest reporting. Okay? For our second example, please take a photo. Okay? For the accountant, I want to do this, this, and this by the end of 2026 because, and key characteristics should be financially precise under pressure, commercially minded, trusted with uncomfortable truths. So those are your key characteristics. Okay? And the last part, no? So I'll just give you the last part of the personal mission statement that we have. Critical actions naman, no? Key characteristics are values. While critical actions are like this, no? Meaning, this is something that you do every day. You should do every day for you to hit your goal. Okay? For example, if you're a bakery, you might offer a sample to everybody who comes in the door so that they get to taste and sell more, no? Get to taste and sell more. You might also double check the expiration dates on all ingredients before you use it. And you also need to do this every day. Clean workspace every hour on the hour. So here are other examples. Okay, here are other examples. The point here is what specific actions we need to do every day, or if not every day, at least once a week for us to be closer to the 3 financial targets that we have set on the mission statement. Okay? So summing it up, ito na yung magiging itsura niya, no? I plan to earn this, this, and this by the end of this because, and how do I do that? By doing the 3 critical actions, and I should embody the key characteristics, the 3 key characteristics that I have. Okay? So again, I'll be sharing all the slides. Just take a photo of this. And another example, the accountant, ito naman yung critical actions. Okay? Critical actions are the things you need to do, actions you need to do every day or at least once a week. You do all 3. Okay? And key characteristics are values that are non-negotiable. So you should transform and have this value, set of values, or if you'll be hiring someone, they should have the following values. Yun yung key characteristics. Okay? So, of course, we don't have time to cover everything, but please take a photo. You have a sample. I'll give you the slides also. And try to refine it. Okay? And once you have it complete, or at least this version, Rex, I think this is good enough. What do you do with this? So what you do with this, I highly recommend you print it out, you post it on your workplace. Every day before the start of the day, you get to read it. Okay? Until, ano na, no? You get to not just memorize, but you already know your financial targets, by when, why you're doing it, the values you need to have, non-negotiable, and the 3 critical actions you need to do every day, if not every week. Okay? You redefine, refine, and once done, read them every day. All right. So let's give everyone a round of applause first for this recording then para you get to answer it on your own. Okay. Here are the different QR codes. We'll be sending it also via email. Okay. And for those who'd like to stay for me to answer your questions, please stay. But for those who have other things to do, thank you very much everyone for being here again. Friend, fellow learner, and Sigma coach. Good evening everyone. Maraming salamat.